Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a technology that is seriously reshaping how we create, connect, and, actually own things online. We are talking about Ethereum, and we're going to break down exactly what you need to know to get in on the ground floor. So let's just start with a really big question. I want you to think about your entire online life for a second. Your social media profiles, all those items you've collected in your favorite game, your digital art. What if you, and only you, truly owned all of that stuff without some big company acting as a gatekeeper? And let's push that idea one step further. What if you had the tools not just to use the next version of the internet, but to actually get in there and build parts of it yourself? That's the really powerful idea we're going to explore today. And those questions, well, they lead us right to the heart of what many are calling the next digital revolution. It's all being powered by a technology called Ethereum, and it's the foundation for a much more decentralized, user-owned internet. So what is Ethereum really? Well, at its core, you got to understand it's not just a currency. It's a massive global platform. See, instead of an app running on a single server owned by, say, Google or Amazon, imagine it running on thousands of computers all at the same time, all over the world. That's what makes it so incredibly secure and basically impossible to shut down. Probably the best way to wrap your head around Ethereum is to think of it as a world's computer. Yep, a single shared computing resource that literally anyone can use to build and run applications. But to really get how that works, we need to pop the hood and look inside. Okay, so it all starts with the blockchain. You can think of it like a digital record book, but with this really clever twist. Information gets stored in blocks, and each new block is permanently, cryptographically linked to the one before it, which creates a chain. Now here's the kicker. Once a block is added to that chain, it cannot be changed, ever. This is what makes the entire history of what happened totally transparent and super secure. Now, you've probably heard of Bitcoin, right? This slide just perfectly nails the difference. Bitcoin proved that decentralized digital money could work. It's like a calculator. It does one job, sending money, and it does it incredibly well. Ethereum, on the other hand, is like a smartphone. It's a fully programmable platform where developers can build countless different applications on top of it. It's a whole new world of possibility. The real magic that makes all of this possible is something called the Ethereum Virtual Machine, or the EVM. You can think of the EVM as the operating system for this world's computer. It's the engine that executes the code for every single application on the network, and it guarantees that they run exactly as they were written, with no downtime, no censorship, no interference. So, what happens when you actually use Ethereum? Well, it follows these 4 pretty simple steps. First, your transaction gets broadcast to the entire network. Then, folks on the network called validators check it out to make sure it's legit. Once they give it the thumbs up, it gets bundled into a new block. And finally, that block is added to the chain, becoming a permanent, unchangeable part of the record. Done. Okay, so that's the how it all works. Now, let's get to the really fun part. What kind of digital stuff is actually being built on this world computer? This is where things start to get really, really creative. It all kicks off with something called a smart contract. These are basically the fundamental building blocks for any app on Ethereum. A smart contract is just like a normal contract, except its rules are written in code and it runs automatically when the conditions are met. But here's the most important part. It completely removes the need for a middleman. It basically creates programmable trust. And smart contracts let us create these things called tokens. A token is a digital asset that can represent almost anything of value you can think of. Seriously, it could be a voucher for a free coffee, a voting right in a community project, or even a special key that gives you access to an exclusive online game. They are incredibly versatile. And then, of course, we have the famous NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Now, non-fungible sounds complicated, but it's just a fancy way of saying unique. While $1 is the same as any other dollar, an NFT is a totally one-of-a-kind digital item. The blockchain acts as this global, unforgeable certificate of authenticity, proving exactly who owns that specific thing. So what can be an NFT? Oh man, just about any digital thing you can possibly imagine. We're seeing everything from incredible digital art and music tracks, to super rare items in video games, to plots of virtual land, and even things like digital diplomas and certificates. The core idea is simple. It's all about verifiable digital ownership. what's pretty amazing is how organized all this is. The community has created these standards, which are kind of like blueprints for different types of tokens. So for example, ERC20 is the standard for interchangeable tokens, like a digital currency. ERC721 is the classic one for unique, one-of-a-kind NFTs, like a piece of art. And then you have more advanced ones like ERC1155, which is perfect for gaming because it can handle both unique items and, say, a stack of 100 health potions, all in the same contract. Now, this new digital world is incredibly exciting, but it definitely comes with a new level of personal responsibility. So let's talk about the absolute most important thing you need to know: how to keep your digital stuff safe. And this is all about your wallet and your keys. Every single wallet has two keys. Your public key is basically like your bank account number. It's an address you can safely share with anyone who needs to send you something. But, and this is a big but, your private key is like your secret PIN or your password. It gives complete and total control over your account. You must never share this with anyone for any reason. Seriously. And that brings us to the single most important rule of crypto security, period. When you set up a wallet, you're going to get something called a seed phrase, a list of 12 or 24 random words. This phrase is your master key. It can restore your entire wallet on any device in the world. You have to guard it with your life. Write it down, store it somewhere safe, offline, and never, ever, ever share it. Beyond that, all the usual digital safety rules apply here, just cranked up to 11. Stick to well-known, trusted wallets and marketplaces. Be super skeptical of random links or DMs. Always, always double-check the website address before you connect your wallet. And of course, remember the golden rule. If an offer seems way too good to be true, it absolutely is. Okay, so now that we get the tech and we know how to stay safe, let's bring it all back together. What does all this actually enable? Well, it's powering a whole new creator economy, where the power is finally shifting away from the big platforms and back to individuals. So what can you actually do right now? You can explore dApps, which are just decentralized apps for things like gaming, art, you name it. You can try out DeFi, or decentralized finance, where you can do things like earn interest or borrow money without a bank. You can turn your own creations into NFTs and sell them directly to your audience. Or you can even join a DAO, which is like a global, internet-native club where all the members vote on decisions and work on cool projects together. And what's so exciting is that this is creating completely new career paths. I mean, yeah, of course, there are the technical roles like developers, but there is a huge demand for non-technical people too. We're talking community managers, marketers, project leaders, and of course, this whole new wave of artists and musicians who can finally own their work and connect directly with their fans. And that brings us right back to where we started. See, Ethereum isn't just a technology. It's a set of open, creative tools that anyone, anywhere can use. It's like a blank canvas for building a more transparent, more user-owned internet. The tools are here for the taking, so the only question left is, what will you build? Thanks for joining this explainer.